Hello everyone, my name is Kel Sounds. I was watching Infect use Parsec, and I completely forgot that I had this synth, and then I decided, I'm gonna mess around and see what I can make. And I kind of just wanted to show you guys how you can make like a cool bell wavetable with it real quick. So I'm gonna go ahead and reset device and use the modifiers. I'm gonna go ahead and use a square wave because that's kind of closer to a bell noise. That might be a little bit low, so I'm going to turn the volume up. Perfect. Okay, so we have a square wave here. And the main things we're going to be looking at is modifier A1 and modifier A2, and a couple of effects, and we're going to be messing with the amp envelope. That's really all that we need to make this wavetable. And so I'm going to go ahead and add the ensemble 2 effect. And the reason why I use ensemble 2 is because ensemble 2 only messes with the higher partials of your sound, so it'll create like this chorus effect with the higher partials. And ensemble 1, of course, messes with the whole frequency. And this is more for like pads, and I kind of like read into the manual and it said this is best used for pads. And as you can hear, if you had a pad noise, yeah, that would be suitable for it. But since we're making a bell noise, we kind of want to preserve some transients here, and so that's why we use ensemble 2. So we're just gonna mess around with this till we get a bell noise, and I have some MIDI here, and I set it at C2. That's perfect. And also another thing is you want to go ahead for the amp envelope, you want to go ahead and set it to a fast attack to get that fast transient bell sound, and then kind of mess with the decay until you're satisfied with your sound. So of course, decay of 40 milliseconds is way too short. We're gonna go ahead and turn it up. And that's perfect for us. And we're gonna go ahead and just stick with that. And I don't know why this is so low in volume. I don't want it to be too loud. Okay, so, and as you can see here, the X parameter controls the amount of the detuning. And as you can hear it, it sounds like noise, and that's pretty much what's happening. It's using noise modulation to create this ensemble effect. The closer we get it to 100% here, and the closer it goes to 0, just sounds like the normal square wave, because there's no noise modulation going on with the higher frequencies here. And the Y parameter here controls which partials are going to be affected by the detuning or the noise modulation to create this chorus effect. So I'm going to go ahead and mess around with that until I get something that I like. I kind of like that. Okay, I'm going to leave it like that. And of course you can just mess around with that till you get the sound that you like. And then for our next modifier, we're going to use the harmonic stretch. And this pretty much stretches out all of the harmonics in your sound, except for the fundamental of your sound. So it leaves the fundamental alone and it stretches the rest of the overtones. So it's going to sound like this. The farther we stretch it, the farther it kind of separates the partials of your sound. And the closer you bring it together, kind of squishes it all together. And the so that's what the Y modifier does. It just stretches your sound. Alright, so the X parameter kind of controls how the partials should snap to harmonic frequencies. So the closer it goes to 0, here I'll just play on the keyboard, it'll be more apparent. Actually, let me stretch this out more so you can hear the effect happening. Okay, so here, this is perfect. So this is at 59.4%. So the closer it goes to 0, the kind of like more inharmonic it sounds. So if I were to go ahead and just grab some MIDI here, you'll definitely hear the difference. So this is the X parameter at 0%. This is going to be completely inharmonic. It's going to sound just chaotic. And the closer I bring it to 100%, the more harmonic it's going to sound, because those partials are snapping to a more harmonic frequency. And so I'm going to go ahead and do a 0% to 100% to kind of show you what's happening. You can see how it brings it together more. So yeah, we're going to use these two modifiers to create a bell wavetable. And I'm going to go ahead and stretch these out a little bit more, just so we can get that sharp bell noise. And here we go. I got C2 here on the MIDI. And then I'm going to go ahead and send that to this recording track right here. And we'll make a wavetable out of that. Or you can just use this this synth and the modifiers here that I showed you to kind of create your own bells. You don't even need to really make a wavetable out of it. And you can even do a link A to B, so you can even have more modifiers or effects to mess with here. And Parsec has some pretty interesting effects that you can use, such as like low pass filters. They got dual band, which is pretty cool. They got comb peak, that's always fun. Comb filters are fun. Unison, you know, so you can go ahead and mess around with all kinds of different effects in this thing, and it's always going to produce something really nice. But yeah, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and stretch this out. I'm going to go ahead and set it to 100 actually. I really like the way that sounds. Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and record this. Okay, and that is perfect. As you can see, I already had a bell going on there. I'm going to go ahead and just fix this up with the fades here in Ableton. Kind of just do this to create more of a bell noise. Doesn't need to be perfect. And there we go. I'm going to consolidate it. Kind of come over here to the gain, double click this. This might be kind of loud, so I'm going to turn down my volume. Alrighty. There we go. That's our bell for our wavetable. I'm going to go ahead and rename this C2, so that way we can put that into Ceramus wavetable formula thing I'm going to show you. Here we go. I'm just going to export it, render track recording, export, and then, yeah, as you can see, I already did this. So I'm going to call this C2 Parsec Bells 3 rec for recording. Voila. We're going to go ahead and insert a MIDI, put in a serum, go to the wavetable editor, enter formula, and since we had it at C2, put in C2. It's going to go ahead and do the fancy schmancies down there. Not really too sure what it does, but it works. Go to my random samples folder and look for C2 Parsec Bells 3 recording. And there's our bell. Go ahead and drag and drop that in there. And that is our bell noise. So I'm going to go ahead and set this up. Put in LFO on the wavetable positioning. Set it to envelope, so it always sets back to the first frame. And that is our bell noise. It's got a little bit of sub in it, so I'm going to go ahead and put an EQ on it to kind of get rid of that. So yeah, that is our bell wavetable. I kind of like the way it sounds. Not really going to mess with it too much. Just going to leave it like that. If I want to turn up the volume, I can turn up the master here. Then I can put some reverb on it. Some OTT, of course, over the top compression. And voila. Turn down the release. And bring up the gain. Woohoo! Alright, that's loud. And there you go, that's your bell noise. PS2 PlayStation noises here going on. And yeah. Parsec is a really cool synthesizer. If you guys have it, you should definitely mess around with the modifiers and just kind of experiment. There's a lot of cool effects in here. You can get some cool results. But thanks for watching, and you guys have a good one. Adios.